Steve Sipple.
Hey!
The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha!
Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, Josh, we've made contact with Sipple.
Yeah, talked to him. Sounded real good.
Okay, so why isn't he available for us to talk to you at this very moment on the air?
Stephen M. Sipple, and this is going to surprise a big chunk of the audience, cannot talk to us right now because he is at the bank.
He's at the bank.
People
go to the bank. That's a normal thing to do nowadays.
I don't think that's right.
When's the last time you went to a bank? You went inside of the bank.
COVID.
I went inside.
It was very difficult because they just were not open, and I don't think they've opened since. I don't think you can go in a bank anymore.
You can go in a bank.
Oh,
I went
okay.
inside a bank within the last 6 months to get my change, turn my change into like $40. That was cool.
Yeah. Did they make you guess it before?
And then no, but I had a number in my head. I guessed too high. It was less. And then
Sad.
before that, it was to do like my mortgage. So that was during COVID.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often, Josh.
Once in a blue moon.
What's in a blue moon?
And it happened to be during our spot.
Yeah, we get him when we get him.
All right.
Sipple's our guy. Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here.
No, I had to call him in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he could just call back.
Yeah, when you're ready, call.
Hey, sorry about that, Hap. My bad. All right. So Sipple's going to join us here in just a couple seconds. We will ask him about how the first 6 games of the season went from his vantage point. Was there any surprises, positively, negatively, about the start of the season and what to expect in the final 6? And then, of course, I think we'll probably end up. We can call it Indiana week right now. We could set the table for the Titanic battle between Nebraska and Indiana a week from tomorrow, and we'll do that with our dear friend Stephen M. Sipple, fresh off a stop at the bank. Hi, Sip. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you. How are you doing?
What were you doing at the bank?
Just doing mundane stuff, making a deposit.
Making a deposit? What do you mean? You could.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I get it all the time.
I know that you still get checks, but you know that
No, I don't get. I guess I get checks for certain things.
Right.
I do get direct deposit with my main jobs, but there are other things I do where necessitates trips to the bank.
But did you know that depending on my bank has an app where you can scan the check and it deposits the money into your account after it sees the check.
Yeah, I'm aware of all of that.
All right.
Still it's a choice that one makes, and I'm not the only one that makes the choice.
So you're not. I don't want to make you seem like you're out on an island, but I feel like you like going to the bank. Is this true?
Got a good read. Yeah, it's a good read. I really told you, like, consciously live in the past. I understand. It's not like something that you would say to me and I would take it in a derogatory way. I'd take it as a compliment. Yeah, I'm definitely living in the past.
I didn't say that.
I'm going full on in the past right now, actually.
But you're not ashamed of it, and for that, we appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you. God bless you.
All right, Sipple. So first 6 games of the year in the books. What was there a thing, a part of, didn't have to be a moment, but a development about this team that has surprised you more than others?
Ooh, I love these questions. Yeah, John Bullock. John Bullock's rise to perhaps Nebraska's best defender. That's definitely a surprise to me. I wouldn't have guessed it. I knew he would be a starter and a very good player. I I didn't think he'd be the MVP halfway through the season, the MVP of the defense halfway through the season, far and away the MVP. So that, and even I would even say second on that list is Sierra Wright. I mean, he didn't even come to the program. He didn't enter the program until, I think it was early July. It was about the time John Butler got here. And you didn't hear much about him initially. And then it's kind of been all of a sudden now you can't take him off the field. He won't be off the field when Tommy Hill returns. He'll be a starter still. I don't know that for a fact, but it's just logic and what I hear.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you can't remove number 15 from the defense is number 15 from the field. So those two things on defense. Oh, never die. Imagine that on special teams it'd be this bad. That's a huge surprise to me.
Yeah.
And those would be the main things.
Anything about Dylan Raiola? Like if I would have told you, that he's, at the halfway point, he's pacing for 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns and 6 picks. Like, would that have been, I don't think that I would have been particularly surprised by that, but what do you think?
No, I think if you went back to sound from your show of our conversations over the summer and then, into August, I don't want to sound smug, but no, that's just about what I expected. You didn't know for sure. I always, you never know for sure, but I expected that. I didn't know that I would, I guess I wouldn't say I knew this. The way I look at the team now is most of my optimism stems from the defense and Dylan. I don't know that I would have said that he would rise to a level where he would be number 2 on the list of reasons for optimism. And that's obviously a testament to Dylan's quick rise, as a collegiate player.
No, he is like I don't think we're talking about this point enough. And Nebraska has been they've turned the ball over only 4 times the entire year with the 3 interceptions and the 1 fumble. I mean, they set it out. They set out on a mission, and Rule said before the year, he was like, "Yeah, we want to go like what did he say, plus 10 in the turnover margin." Well, they're pacing for that right now, and everybody saw the minus 17 from last year, and they said, "Boy, I don't know. That's just a massive turnaround." But they are pacing for exactly that. The offense hasn't turned the football over, and the defense is getting turnovers at a good enough rate. They're seemingly plus 1 at least every game. There was one game where they went even in the turnover margin. Like, that's one of the things where I think people were hopeful that Nebraska could be in that range as far as the turnovers were concerned, but it's maybe even worked out better than we could have imagined.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's definitely what a development. I mean, what a beautiful mission, and to have it unfold this way, this deep into the season, that's significant progress. And you can't, I mean, for years we spent a lot of time gnashing our teeth about turnovers and how Nebraska's always on the wrong side of it. Now that they're on the right side of it, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad we're bringing it up. I'm glad I don't know if I'd say celebrating it, but at least acknowledging it to a large degree. And it is critical. And it's critical that it continues. And I think the emphasis is such that it will.
How much do we like? This is kind of what we've been circling around, I suppose. But because of the light schedule to start through the 6 games, how much of that, how much of what you've seen in the first half applies to the second half? Now that the schedule really turns up a notch, and it really is. I mean, you play a ranked team this coming week on the road. You know what you're going to get Ohio State, and the rest of them are really no joke either. It takes a different step after the bye week here. How much of what Nebraska was in the first half actually applies to the second half, given the competition goes up a level?
Light is relative. I don't know that
lighter.
Yeah, I didn't think it was light. It was lighter, but Illinois is a ranked team. Illinois is pretty good. I mean, they went to Penn State. They should have pushed that game right inside the 2-minute mark. Rutgers was undefeated with a win at Virginia Tech.
Yep.
They're ugly. I mean, they're ugly. They do it ugly. They'll beat Wisconsin. They'll win ugly, and then they'll beat 5-1. Colorado is not bad.
No, that's actually one that has changed a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I think they're pretty okay.
Well, I think Illinois changed too from what we expected from Illinois this year. Illinois is actually pretty good. So I don't diminish what Nebraska's done, but they didn't. Ohio State's. The Ohio State game it looms really large for a lot of reasons because it's the kind of game that can. I've seen these kind of games mess Nebraska's program up for a sustained period. You can't let that happen. Nebraska shouldn't let it happen because they're too. They should be too good to let that happen.
Yeah, I've been saying over the last several weeks that they seem more equipped to make those games. I don't know what competitive is or take it into whatever quarter or whatever point in the game. But I know you're not going to get 62-3, right?
I don't. Yeah, that would shock me. So, and all these conversations we have evolved. They should evolve. Sports is that way. There should be surprises, and winning and results week to week should matter in how we assess things. So what I would tell you is this: if Nebraska were to beat Indiana, my thoughts on where Nebraska might end up would change. It would be, okay, now they're at 6 wins with a great possibility for 3 more because there's such thing as momentum and confidence. And there would be more momentum, more confidence with a win in Indiana. Now, then that's where I get to the Ohio State game. You can't let that all go by the wayside because you struggle against Ohio State, which will happen. It'll be a struggle no matter what. But yeah, I think if Nebraska were to beat Indiana, I think you start realistically pondering double-digit wins or 9. Then it becomes that's very much on the table. But again, it evolves. Think about it. If they would have lost to Rutgers, just think about if Nebraska would have lost the game to Rutgers, how that would impact this conversation. We wouldn't be having it like this.
Not at all.
Right. So it does. It matters. The week-to-week results, especially in a football season, a football season with so few games, it does affect it much more than it does in some other sports.
Sipple, where do you come out on the whole Heinrich Harburg usage thing? And if Nebraska is to do that in the second half of the season, how do they do it in an organic way that makes sense and is advantageous to them?
So far, it hasn't made sense to me. I love Heinrich, I really like that he's improved. We haven't seen this, but everybody tells me that he's improved dramatically as a passer and as a quarterback in general. I can be very annoying on this subject. I mean, kind of an old fuddy-duddy. I just prefer that he's a quarterback. I mean, just he's a quarterback. He's the number 2 quarterback. That's what he should do. I do understand this sort of this emotional pull people have to put him out on the field at times. It's largely based in emotion, which I'm largely out on. I just don't.
I think there's some football stuff to it too. They see Nebraska's struggles in the run game and they want to infuse it with a little bit of, some creativity.
John Bishop covered that really well the other day in an interview when I was on with him, and he was right. There is that they need. I don't know. I was about to say they need to be creative. I don't know about that. I mean, I think they just need to block better, Capper. I mean,
I'm with you.
Blocking needs. I think the blocking needs to get better. I don't think that Heinrich Haarberg's going to solve your running game problems. I mean, not in any sustained way.
No, because you're tipping your you're tipping your hand when he's going into the game. If he, if he comes, like you kind of know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, my answer to most of these discussions is you got to block and tackle better.
Yeah.
Now Nebraska's tackling better. But now they got to block better. But I get it. I get the whole. What it comes down to with me is that if I want to say this in a more positive sense, I respect Heinrich as a quarterback. I mean, I like him as a quarterback. I liked him last year as a quarterback. He was flawed, deeply flawed as a passer, but I always thought he had a lot of potential because of his arm strength. That throw he made in the spring game to Borkercher, I don't know, did it go for 60-yard touchdown, something like that? It was an elite throw, and he's capable of those, and he's gotten it again. We haven't seen it because Dylan's been okay. He hasn't been hurt. But I bet if Heinrich went out there, I bet we'd say, wow, he is. He's definitely better.
Sipple, what's your plan for this weekend with no Husker game?
Well, I take life day by day. Saturday will be. I'll watch football until my eyes bleed. I mean, and there's a lot on. I mean, there's an 11 a.m. game. Well, there's 11 a.m. games I want to see: Washington, Iowa, Rutgers, Wisconsin, and then of course the big game. The most intriguing game to me is at 2:30, and that's Penn State USC. The ramifications for both programs are huge. For both head coaches for different reasons.
Agreed.
And it's just like it's like a Rose Bowl in October. I just can't. I'm like a kid. I can't wait. Literally can't wait for that game. And then Oregon, Ohio State, and then whatever scraps there are at the end of the day, I'll watch.
Are you going to watch Tigers and Guardians tomorrow? Or I'm
interested. I'm interested in the playoffs. I love this. I love it. I just like having that on. But I'll pay attention to it, Happer, believe it or not.
Right, well,
I really like the Dodgers-Padres series, honestly.
Yeah.
It's great drama. Those are rivals. I don't know. Baseball this time of year, believe it or not, I am very interested.
So, hey, by the way, if there's nothing going on in the noons in the 11 a.m. slate college football tomorrow, which doesn't look like it's that stacked, the Tigers Guardians game has been moved up to noon tomorrow because of impending weather in Cleveland.
What's the impending weather?
What do you mean? What's impending weather? When weather is impending.
I know, but what would it be? Like rain showers in Cleveland?
Probably, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. That'll be cool. Baseball that early in the day is pretty sweet.
I look forward to your baseball takes on Twitter tomorrow afternoon.
I haven't been doing much of that, Happer. In fact, I haven't done a baseball Twitter take probably at least a decade.
Send one out. Break the streak tomorrow. I'd like to see it.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
It would.
All of a sudden, like, who's a famous baseball writer? Buster Olney.
Yeah, he's still in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably won't do that.
No. All right. Sad. Have a good weekend.
You sound like Josh. All right, I'll talk to you later.
See you later. That's Steve Sipple, HuskerOnline.com. That's right. The Guardians Tigers game 5 moved up to noon tomorrow, just after noon, because of what's impending weather? What does that mean?
What could that possibly mean?
I don't know. Rain.
They want to get the game in.
Yeah. So the noon slate is a little light tomorrow. There's Red River starts at 2, but not much in terms of like ranked games. I mean, even in the Big Ten, there's not much going on with the exception of Washington and Iowa. But if that gets a little boring for your liking, check out Cleveland and Detroit.
Why would it get boring, Connor?
I don't know. Maybe because Iowa's playing. There's also Wisconsin and Rutgers at 11 if you want to get real bored.
Sicko.